Ladies and gentlemen, if you feel lost right now, uncertain, unfulfilled, stuck, you are not broken. You are simply being invited to rise. The feeling of being lost is not a dead end. It is the signal that your soul is searching for clarity, direction, and power. For the next 14 days, I invite you to take a challenge, not of the body, but of the mind. Because every great transformation begins with one brave decision to change the way you think. You see, all success starts with thought, but not just any thought, controlled, directed, definite thought. And if you feel lost, it's only because your thoughts have not yet been trained to serve your purpose. So for the next 14 days, I challenge you to develop the one discipline that separates the dreamers from the doers, the ability to direct your mind. Every morning, for just 10 minutes, sit in silence and focus on this one sentence. I am not lost. I am in the process of discovering my definite purpose. Repeat it, feel it, believe it, and then write down the answers that come to you, no matter how unclear they may seem. Because here's the truth. You are not waiting on the world to give you answers. You are waiting on yourself to ask the right questions. The moment you do, the universe starts to move. And what will happen after 14 days? You won't be fully transformed yet, but you will have momentum. You will have power. You will no longer be lost. You'll be leading yourself forward. The future is not found. It is forged. Not with luck, not with ease, but with decision, faith, and daily action. Now go. The next 14 days belong to you. Make them count. Feeling lost is not failure. It is a signal for personal transformation. Too often, people interpret confusion or uncertainty as weakness, as if not knowing the next step somehow means they are broken or falling behind. But the truth is far more empowering. Feeling lost is a wake-up call. It is life's way of drawing your attention inward, forcing you to examine what you truly want, who you truly are, and what path aligns with the deepest parts of your soul. When you feel lost, it doesn't mean you are off track. It means you're on the edge of growth. It's okay to feel fear. It's okay to feel doubt. It's okay to not have all the answers. These feelings are not evidence of failure. They are signs that you are stretching beyond your comfort zone and stepping into territory that requires more from you, more focus, more honesty, more awareness. Growth never happens when everything is certain. The process of transformation begins with discomfort, with the realization that the current version of you is ready to evolve. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to have it all figured out. The greatest discoveries you'll ever make will not be from knowing everything, but from learning how to trust yourself in the unknown. The pressure to have everything under control is an illusion. Control is not clarity. Real clarity comes from surrendering the need to pretend you're okay and giving yourself permission to explore without judgment. Vulnerability is not a sign of weakness, it's a demonstration of courage. It takes incredible strength to admit you're lost and still decide to keep moving. To say, I don't know exactly where I'm going, but I refuse to stay stuck is an act of bravery that few people ever choose. And yet it is that very choice that separates those who stay small from those who rise. When you lean into vulnerability, when you allow yourself to feel and face your own uncertainty, you awaken something powerful within you. You awaken the part of you that is capable of transformation, not despite your struggle, but because of it. Change begins with the decision to think intentionally and clearly. Until you take full ownership of your thoughts, your mind will drift swayed by fear, distraction, and the noise of the world around you. Most people move through life on autopilot, reacting instead of creating, surviving instead of choosing. But the moment you decide to direct your thoughts with purpose, everything begins to shift. This decision is not dramatic or loud. It happens quietly, in a moment of honest reflection, when you realize that your outer world is only a reflection of your inner patterns. Intentional thinking is the foundation of all meaningful change. You cannot transform your life with the same thoughts that created your current reality. To move forward, you must stop repeating mental habits that keep you stuck. This means questioning your assumptions, interrupting negative self-talk, and refusing to entertain ideas that limit your potential. It means replacing confusion with clarity, distraction with focus, and doubt with disciplined belief. Thinking clearly does not mean having all the answers right away. It means clearing away the mental fog long enough to hear your own truth. It means choosing what to focus on instead of letting circumstances dictate your mood or mindset. Clarity is not found in overthinking. It is found in deciding what matters, what you believe, and what direction you are committed to walk toward, no matter how uncertain the road may seem. Once you make the decision to think clearly, you reclaim your power. You become the architect of your mindset. You begin to notice what you once ignored, the opportunities in setbacks, the patterns in your emotions, and the subtle guidance your intuition offers every day. Thought is the seed of all creation. When you start planting the right thoughts, rooted in clarity and purpose, you start to grow a life that reflects your deepest values, not your fears. Change doesn't wait for permission. It responds to the mind that is ready to lead. You must discipline your mind if you want to master your life. Without discipline, the mind becomes a chaotic place, pulled in every direction, overwhelmed by distractions, emotions, and doubts. It reacts to everything and creates nothing. But the moment you decide to take control of your thinking, you step into the driver's seat of your existence. Discipline is not about suppression, it's about direction. It is not about forcing thoughts to be perfect. It's about choosing which thoughts deserve your attention and which ones must be left behind. A disciplined mind doesn't chase every impulse. It doesn't entertain every fear. It learns to observe, to pause, to respond with purpose rather than react in panic. It recognizes that feelings are real, but they are not always true, and so it doesn't blindly believe every anxious thought or negative narrative. It questions, it reflects, and it returns to focus. This kind of mental strength doesn't appear overnight. It is forged day by day, choice by choice, repetition by repetition. If you want to master your life, your goals, your growth, your future, you must start with your inner world. The external will never fall into order until your mind does. This is why people chase results and still feel unfulfilled. They try to fix their circumstances without first mastering the thoughts that created them. But the disciplined mind understands that everything begins within. Before you change your habits, your finances, your relationships, or your direction, you must change the lens through which you see them. Training the mind requires commitment. It means showing up for yourself even when motivation is absent. It means developing rituals of reflection, setting mental boundaries, and practicing focus like a skill, not hoping for clarity, but working for it. It means deciding what kind of life you want and then aligning your thoughts with that vision even when it's hard, because it will be hard. But difficulty is not a reason to quit. It's a reason to strengthen your resolve. Mastery is not about having control over the world. It's about mastering your response to it. And that begins with a mind that listens to truth more than fear, to vision more than doubt, Discipline your mind, and your life will follow. Spend 10 minutes each morning in quiet focus on your purpose. Before the world wakes up and demands your attention, give those first few minutes to yourself, to your vision, your direction, your reason for being. In the stillness of the morning, when your mind is free from the noise of the day, you have the rare chance to hear your inner voice without interference. That voice knows what you're here for. It may not speak loudly, but it speaks with truth. And if you listen closely, it will guide you. These 10 minutes are not about productivity or planning. They are not about checking boxes or solving problems. They are about reconnecting with the part of you that remembers who you are and what you're here to do. When you give yourself that space, even briefly, you begin each day with intention rather than reaction. You are no longer waking up into someone else's agenda. You are stepping into your own alignment. Sit in silence, breathe, ask yourself one question. Why am I here today? Not in the grand philosophical sense, but in the real, grounded, immediate sense. Why today? What does this day ask of me? What kind of energy, focus, and presence do I want to bring into the hours ahead? You don't need every answer to be clear. You just need the willingness to look inward. Over time, this simple habit will train your mind to seek purpose first, not pressure. Purpose is not something you stumble upon by accident. It is cultivated. It is strengthened through repeated attention. When you begin each day with focused intention, your thoughts start to serve you instead of scatter you. Your actions begin to follow a clear internal compass. The world doesn't get to define your path. You do. But you must begin each day by reminding yourself where you're headed and why it matters. Those 10 minutes are your anchor. They are the foundation on which clarity is built. No matter how uncertain life feels, returning to your purpose each morning will keep you steady. Because when you are grounded in purpose, you are never truly lost. You are simply walking the path that leads you to your next evolution. Repeat this mantra daily. I am not lost. I am in the process of discovering my definite purpose. Say it out loud. Say it softly. Say it when you feel unsure, when your heart is heavy, or when doubt starts to creep in. This is more than a sentence. It's a declaration. It is a reminder to your mind and spirit that you are not wandering aimlessly. You are on a path of becoming. You are not broken. You are becoming more aware. You are not stuck. You are slowing down long enough to realign with something deeper. Every time you speak this mantra, you're choosing faith over fear. You're choosing to believe that this moment of uncertainty is not a detour, but a doorway. You are reinforcing the truth that you are a work in progress, and that progress is sacred. When you repeat this phrase daily, you begin to shift your identity. You stop seeing yourself as someone who is behind or failing, and you start seeing yourself as someone who is actively unfolding into the life you're meant to live. And you start seeing yourself as someone who is actively unfolding into the life you're meant to live. Words are powerful. What you say to yourself, especially in moments of quiet reflection, becomes the framework for how you experience your life. Most people speak defeat into their day without even realizing it. They say things like, I don't know what I'm doing, or I'm lost, or I'm just stuck. And those words become a mental prison. But when you replace them with a conscious, empowering mantra, you change the script. You take back your authority. You create a new mental environment where purpose can grow. And this mantra also carries patience. It honors the process. It doesn't demand instant clarity or perfection. It embraces the unfolding. By declaring that you are in the process of discovering your definite purpose, you acknowledge that purpose isn't something you wake up and find one day. It is something you meet step by step, choice by choice, through quiet reflection, honest effort, and daily alignment. Speak this mantra each morning. Let it be the first thought you send into the world. Let it shape your decisions, direct your focus, and pull you forward when everything else tries to hold you back. Writing your thoughts daily helps bring clarity from confusion. When your mind feels crowded, full of questions, doubts, fears, and unfinished ideas, writing is the act of clearing space. It turns the noise in your head into something you can see, something you can understand, and eventually something you can work with. The simple practice of putting pen to paper or fingers to keys becomes a form of self-connection, a way to witness your own inner world with honesty and without judgment. When thoughts stay trapped in your mind, they tend to loop. They grow heavier, tangled in emotion and assumption. But when you write them down, you separate yourself from them just enough to observe them clearly. You begin to see patterns. You notice what you're avoiding. You uncover desires you didn't realize you had, and fears that have been silently holding you back. Writing gives shape to what once felt chaotic. It turns invisible thoughts into visible truth. This isn't about writing perfectly. It's not about grammar, structure, or sounding profound. It's about showing up for yourself with a blank page and an open mind. Some days what comes out may feel messy or uncertain. Other days it might surprise you with clarity and insight. But every word you write is a step toward understanding yourself more deeply. And self-understanding is the foundation of all meaningful change. Daily writing is also an act of discipline. It requires you to pause and reflect, even when you feel rushed or restless. It trains your mind to slow down and process rather than react. Over time, it becomes a grounding ritual, a safe space where you can return to yourself no matter how uncertain the world feels. And the more you return to that space, the stronger your inner clarity becomes. Through consistent writing, confusion begins to lose its grip. You start to distinguish between what is real and what is just noise. You begin to trust your own thoughts, your own direction, and what once felt like a storm becomes a map. Writing is not just expression, it's revelation. It's a daily invitation to meet yourself where you are and gently guide yourself toward where you're meant to be. You are not waiting for answers. You are responsible for asking the right question. The moment you shift from passively hoping for clarity to actively seeking it, your entire relationship with life changes. Too often, people sit in stillness and frustration, waiting for a breakthrough to arrive, for some external sign to tell them what to do next. But the truth is, the answers you seek are rarely outside of you. They are hidden within the questions you have yet to ask yourself. The quality of your life is shaped by the quality of your questions. If you ask, "Why am I so lost?" your mind will search for reasons to confirm that feeling. But if you ask, "What am I learning in this moment?" or "What do I truly want to create?" your mind begins to shift toward growth, curiosity, and discovery. This is not about forcing answers to appear. It's about directing your attention with intention. You are the thinker behind your thoughts. And as the thinker, you have the power to choose which thoughts are worthy of your energy. That choice begins with inquiry. When you ask the right questions, you unlock doors you didn't know existed. You challenge old beliefs, uncover hidden desires, and begin to see possibilities instead of problems. It is through honest, intentional questioning that you begin to reclaim authorship over your own life. Asking the right questions requires courage. It means being willing to look at yourself without judgment. It means asking things like, "What am I avoiding?" Or "What fear is driving this decision?" Or "If I believed in myself fully, what would I do next?" These aren't always easy to face, but they are necessary. because you can't create a new direction while avoiding the truth. You must confront it, and questioning is the tool that gets you there. So stop waiting for life to hand you a roadmap. Start crafting your own, question by question. The path unfolds not because someone tells you what to do, but because you dared to ask, to listen, and to act on the answers that rise up from within. Your next breakthrough is not hidden. It's simply unasked. Consistent thought and belief over 14 days creates powerful momentum. Momentum is not built in one breakthrough moment. It's built in the quiet, repeated decision to keep showing up. Day after day, choice after choice, you are shaping who you become by what you choose to believe, even when the results haven't shown up yet, even when it still feels uncertain. What matters most in the beginning is not how far you go, but how steadily you commit to going at all. When you focus your thoughts daily, when you speak your truth, write your intentions, and direct your energy with purpose, you begin to change your inner landscape. You start training your mind to look forward instead of backward, to think with possibility instead of fear, to create instead of complain. One intentional thought repeated with belief can do more for your life than 100 scattered ones left unchanged. Because belief is a force. When you believe in a new direction consistently, your actions begin to align with it. Your mind begins to filter your experiences differently. You start seeing opportunity where before you saw nothing but resistance. 14 days may not seem long, but it's enough to start reprogramming your focus. It's enough to build mental muscle, to set a new emotional tone, and to prove to yourself that change is happening. Not all at once, but layer by layer. Most people quit before they ever create momentum because they think change should feel dramatic. But the truth is, real change feels subtle at first. It feels like calm where there was once chaos, like clarity in the middle of confusion, like a voice that says, "I've got this," even when you haven't figured everything out yet. Momentum isn't about speed, it's about direction. And consistency is what sets that direction. When you think intentionally and believe deeply every single day, your life begins to organize itself around those thoughts. You start to move with a kind of quiet power. You stop waiting for motivation and begin acting from purpose. And by the end of those 14 days, you'll realize you're not stuck. You're in motion. You're no longer hoping for change. You've become the one creating it. Success is not found. It is forged through conscious, daily effort. It is not something you stumble upon by luck or inherit by chance. It is built, shaped, and refined by what you do when no one is watching. Too often, people wait for a sign, for a perfect moment, or for motivation to strike. But success doesn't respond to waiting. It responds to intention. It rises in the life of the person who decides every single day to take one step forward, no matter how small, no matter how uncertain. There is no secret door, no shortcut, no magic blueprint that suddenly unlocks your potential. What exists instead is your ability to make deliberate choices, consistently, patiently, with full belief in the future you're building. You forge success the same way a blacksmith shapes steel, with heat, with repetition, and with pressure. Not all at once, but with steady hands and an unwavering mind. And while others wait for the perfect circumstances, you create them. You create momentum through discipline. You create clarity through reflection. You create progress through action. Each day is a blank canvas, and every action, every thought, every effort you make is another brushstroke. Some days will feel inspired, others will feel heavy, but both matter. Because success is not about doing something great once. It's about doing something purposeful again and again until it becomes who you are. The greatest victories are not explosive. They are quiet, patient, and deeply earned. Forging success also means embracing the struggle, the discomfort, the setbacks, the failures. These are not signs you're failing. They are proof that you're in the process. Every challenge refines your mindset. Every obstacle tests your vision. And every time you keep going when it would be easier to quit, you add another layer of strength to the foundation you're building. You don't find your future. You build it with awareness, with belief, and with effort that most people never commit to because they're waiting to feel ready. But those who forge success understand something different. You don't wait to be ready. You get to work, and you become ready in the process. This 14-day commitment is the start of a lifelong path to personal power. It is a deliberate choice to step out of confusion and into clarity, to trade uncertainty for purpose, even if only in small measures at first. What happens in these 2 weeks is not just about short-term progress. It's about planting seeds that will grow deep roots over a lifetime. You are not simply working toward a quick fix or a temporary boost. You are beginning the practice of mastering yourself and your destiny. Personal power is not handed to you. It is earned through consistency, through the willingness to face your fears, to challenge your doubts, and to show up for yourself even when it's difficult. This 14-day commitment is your invitation to practice that courage. Every day you choose to focus, to believe, to act with intention. You are building strength that no external circumstance can take away. You are training your mind to be your ally rather than your enemy. This journey will not always be easy. You will encounter resistance, both from within and from the world around you. But the foundation you lay in these 14 days will help you stand firm when the storms come. It is the difference between drifting aimlessly and steering your life with confidence. Personal power is knowing that no matter what happens, you have the capacity to adapt, to grow, and to create meaning from any experience. What begins as a simple daily practice becomes a lifelong habit of self-mastery. And self-mastery is freedom. Freedom from doubt, from fear, and from the paralyzing belief that you are at the mercy of circumstance. It is the power to decide who you are, what you want, and how you respond to every challenge that arises. This is the path to true success. Not measured by wealth or status, but by the strength and clarity you carry within. So as you commit to these 14 days, know that you are stepping into something far greater than a 2-week challenge. You are stepping into your own power, your own potential, and the beginning of a life lived on your own terms. Remember, feeling lost is not the end. It is the very beginning of your transformation. Embrace the uncertainty, commit to the daily practice of clarity and belief, and watch as momentum builds quietly but powerfully beneath the surface. These 14 days are your starting point, not just for change, but for mastery over your thoughts, your purpose, and ultimately, your life. Step forward with courage, discipline your mind, and trust that each small, intentional step is forging the path to the person you are destined to become. Your journey is already unfolding. Now, own it.